Do the spots on a hound change as they age like they do on an Appaloosa horse? Do wolves really eat mountain lion kittens? Why are bears digging holes under the homes of Californians? And can dogs really do jujitsu? All this and much more on this week's episode of the Hound on the Run podcast. My name is Nicholas Isaac. I'm a writer, a YouTuber, an all-around hound enthusiast, and I will be your host today as we cover a wide range of topics, all centered around hounds, hunting with hounds, the animals we pursue, and pretty much anything that would touch the lives of my fellow hound hunters, both in the US and internationally. Before we get into the show, I wanted to fill you all in on a new live stream series that's happening every Monday night with some of your favorite hound hunters on YouTube. I'm talking about Brett Vaughn from Born 100 Years Too Late, George Lambert from Mountain Music and Mules, Chris Watson from Anecdote of a Houndsman, and we might have some other folks rolling through just to keep things interesting. The live stream takes place over on Brett Vaughn's long-form content channel on YouTube called Interviews, Stories, and Tales. Follow the link in this video description to go subscribe to that channel and be sure to hit the notification bell so that you get an alert right when we go live. During last week's stream, we talked about the famous Dale Lee interview tapes that Brett has been posting on his channel, but with such a rowdy group of houndsmen all coming together, you know the conversation's going to go any direction and you know it's going to be interesting. We've also been taking listener questions through the chat, so if you have something to say or you want to come say hi, please come on over, hang out with us, and let's have some fun. As always, if you'd like to contribute to the Hound on the Run podcast and add your 2 cents, we would love to hear from you, and our voicemail box is open. So give us a call at 971-301-4884. We want to hear your thoughts, opinions, fact checks, criticisms, anything really, funny stories, or anything that comes to mind that relates to what we're talking about. Or if you have topics you would like us to talk about on the podcast, that's a great way to tell us about it. So 971-301-4884, give us a call. Now on to the show. Hey, Taylor, how's it going?
It's going great.
Long time no see.
I know. It's been quite a while.
I know. So last week we had Chris from Anecdote of a Houndsman on. So you weren't on for that. And then the week before that, I posted the Cat Dog Chronicles audiobook intro. So you were off that week.
That's right.
Did you have a nice podcast vacation?
Yeah, I had a really, really great break. Thank you for asking.
My pleasure.
Did
Awesome.
a lot of trail running.
That's right, you did. And who do you go trail running with?
I take my house hound Plum.
That's right. That's right. He is a good running buddy.
Oh, he's the best.
He does a very good heel.
He's perfect heel the whole time.
The funny thing about Plum is that I never actually trained him to walk at heel.
You didn't?
Nope. He just naturally, he just kind of,
Oh, didn't he get some training previously?
Yeah, I
Because
think.
he was like a show dog or...
No, he comes from show dog lines.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's in his blood to run at a nice prance right next to somebody. So he does it naturally. I am really glad that he's been running with you though, because he has a purpose in life now.
He loves it so much. Anytime he sees me get ready, because I wear the same clothes every time I go, he's like, we're doing this?
Yeah. I also like that he's a big, dark, intimidating kind of looking dog.
People get intimidated when they see him. Some people do.
He doesn't, I don't know, I've always found that people get a little unsure of the hounds if they've never been around
They're
hounds
big
before.
Dogs.
Everyone thinks of a hound as like a goofy, like oblivious, aloof dog. but for some reason they actually are kind of intimidating if you come up on them.
I can't really remember what it was like or how I felt about hounds before I was surrounded by hounds.
Yeah. Well, you probably never had any interaction with them at all.
Mm-mm.
I know I didn't. Anyways, we're going off the rails already, but that's okay. So this week, we have another just kind of awesome episode planned for you. We're going to cover the news. We're going to watch some hilarious videos and react to those. But before we get into that, we got our very first listener question, which I'm very excited about. So let's get into that. I didn't really do any research on this, so this is pretty much all speculation.
I did do some quick research, but I couldn't find anything definitive.
Yeah. I guess I Googled it once, but I didn't really get any good results. So anyways, our very first listener question comes from Missy Fix, who was actually on the podcast. So I'll post a link to that episode. She is the Beagle Lady. She's got an awesome little 6-pack of beagles. And yeah, she's just
Angus.
An Angus. It's our newest one. And yeah, she's just a hardcore hound lady. And very curious person with an inquisitive mind. So the other day after, I can't remember which episode it was in response to.
I think it was the first one that you put up the number.
The phone number. Yeah, that's right. Yep. So her question is as follows. Here's a question I can't find an answer for. Does or can the ticking on a dog change like that of an Appaloosa horse? Just another odd question passing through as I sit on the porch watching the dogs play. And then she goes on to say, a blanket Appaloosa looks much like ticking on a hound, but the ticking can change where the spots are as they get older, 2 years old and up. And then she said, oops, I meant leopard Appaloosa. So a leopard Appaloosa, apparently, their ticking can change.
Can we pull up a picture of one?
Yeah, I can. The ticking will change, and the spots will move as they get older. Mm-hmm. She was wondering if that happens on dogs too, because I think that must be what prompted it. I compared, especially the blue pups.
Mm-hmm.
Like they kind of look like Appaloosa horses.
Yeah.
So let me pause real quick and pull up.
What I have noticed with our dogs, I feel that Cooley's ticking has changed some. Like I feel like as she's gotten older, she's gotten a few more spots.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if that was hormonal because she's had puppies or something like that would affect it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. She actually developed more spots on her actual skin.
Yes.
Not like the color of her fur, but like the actual spots on her skin. It seems like all dogs have that, especially lighter skinned dogs. Mm-hmm. So like Cooley's half walker. So she has a pink belly. And then she has kind of like she's like pink on her skin, but then like dark mottled kind of spotting all over her body. Rue is the same way. Mm-hmm. And even though Rue is just a straight up walker, he still does have some ticking like a blue tick does.
Yeah, and I feel like he got some new spots too as he got older.
Yeah.
Just noticing, whoa, I haven't seen that before. Oh, he looks to have a few more spots here.
Okay, so here we go. I just pulled up.
Oh, they're so pretty.
Yeah, so these are Appaloosa horses, which I've always thought that some of the hounds kind of look like them. When I was a kid, so I grew up with horses. I don't know if we ever had any Appaloosas, but I remember driving by, like, you drive out to Eastern Oregon, you drive past 100, there's horse farms everywhere, horse ranches. And I always just loved, anytime I would see one of these, I would just like squawk about it. So yeah, like, man, what a cool looking animal. These are all reddish ones. I'm trying to find a blue one. Anyways, The answer is, I don't know.
We have seen changes in the ticking on our dogs.
I noticed that Bruno, Bruno was the darkest puppy. Like he had, like it seemed like he was mostly black with the kind of blue tick stuff, like as a minor part. But within the last couple of weeks or maybe last month, the lighter parts of his coat have started turning like a silver color.
Yeah.
Like they've started lightening up a lot.
Yeah.
Which is really weird.
I noticed like in his chest area.
He looks awesome.
He is gorgeous.
Yeah. He kind of looks like he's kind of got like it's almost like a skunk stripe down his back. But yeah, I think, so I don't know. I don't know if like we have noticed from our dogs that the spots will kind of change and like Cooley's develop some more spots. But anyways, if you, dear listeners, have any knowledge on this subject of whether or not dogs' coat patterns change over time, give us a call. Write in and let us know. The phone number to call us and leave a voicemail message is 971-301-4884. 971-301-4884. It'll go straight to a voicemail, but speak your mind. I want to hear from you guys. Of course, you can leave comments on the YouTube video. There's a link in the description that'll take you to the contact page on my website, so you can write me an email there. But I want to get some voicemails so we can play them on the podcast. So there we go. Our first listener question. Thank you, Missy, for sending that in. And let's get some more listener questions going. So all you out there, if you have a question or something you're interested in that you want us to talk about, give us a call on that number. Leave a comment. We'll get to it. Anyways, we got a lot of news to cover, so we're just going to get straight into that. So, yeah, this first story is up in Canada. So the headline is Ontario greenlights dog hunting training facilities. Okay, so apparently, I think it's like over 25 years ago, Canada basically put a ban on hunting dog training pens. And I would think a lot of my listeners who actually run dogs would know what these are, but basically a training pen is basically a big chunk of property that's enclosed by a fence, and they have like either fox or coyotes or rabbits. Very popular for rabbits, for beagle hunters. So it's basically an enclosed area, but they're usually really large, really big, hundreds of acres usually. And they're kind of like stocked with fox or coyotes, and then you can go turn your dogs loose there, and then it's for training. It's to get pups started. So apparently, yeah, Canada or Ontario at least, had banned them for like 26 years or something now. So Ontario has lifted a long-standing ban on new train and trial areas where dogs learn to hunt captive coyotes, foxes, and rabbits. The decision permits the establishment of additional penned hunting facilities and allows for the transfer of existing licenses to new owners, both of which were previously banned under the Fish and Wildlife Conservation Act. So they didn't outright ban them, but what they did was they made it so you could not get a new permit. So you could buy... I did a little research into this. You could basically buy out an existing one. If you wanted to start one, you could, that's it. That was your only option. Like you couldn't start one.
There was only a limited amount.
There's a limited amount. Yep. And of course, all the anti-hunting people, they think they're cruel.
What do you think about it?
I wish I had access to one. Like I would want a bobcat pen.
Bobcat pen.
But that's
for
impossible.
Confirmation or repetition or...
So when you're starting a young dog, if you don't have a fully trained, fully broke older dog that they can run with, you have no idea what they're running.
Right.
Especially if experienced people know what they're doing. But like if you're new and you don't necessarily know what they're running, being able to put them in a pen where there's only fox in here. You know there's only fox. That is a huge asset to be able to get your dogs going. I think they're great. I have no problem with them. Anti-hunting people. So let me just read this quote from the article. So the animal rights community is opposed because of the cruelty to the coyotes, foxes, and rabbits who are enclosed in these pens, and for the dogs who are trained to hunt these animals down, said Liz White, director of Animal Alliance of Canada and leader of the Animal Protection Party of Canada. Even if no animal is physically injured, the stress of hours of chasing and being chased is a problem. However, animals will get hurt if there is a confrontation between the wildlife animal, especially coyotes and dogs. The training in these compounds leads to severe mauling and death during hound hunting outside of train and trial pens in wildlands. Oh, leads to severe mauling and death during hound hunting outside. Okay, so they're saying like you're training your dogs to go and catch these wild animals.
Yeah.
But okay, so they don't want any of this. They don't want any hunting to happen, period.
They don't want any animals to get hurt or hunted.
Right. Yeah. So, but this is a positive story for hunters anyway, because so they can open up new training pens now. So in 1997, the Ontario government decided to stop granting licenses for new train and trial areas and gradually phase out of existence operations as owners retired or left the business. At that time, there were 50 to 60 train and trial areas in Ontario. Now there are only 24. White said at the time, a progressive conservative government led by Mike Harris agreed to phase out train and trial compounds by changing the Game and Fish Act, which later became the Fish and Wildlife Conservation Act. Now, some 26 years later, another progressive conservative government has reversed its decision. And they're also the people who are opposing this, they're also arguing that it's cruel that trappers have to go out and trap the coyotes, foxes, and whatever, and rabbits to supply these train and trial grounds. So, for the anti-hunters, these pens just represent everything they're against.
Right.
So,
but I can understand a knee-jerk reaction to, wait, they're enclosed, they can't escape, the free chase principle isn't being applied here, or fair chase principle. So I can understand that for sure, but I can also understand the need for training. Yeah.
But I thought it was a good story to talk about because it kind of shows that even in a place like Canada, that is the most strict on everything we love down here, and they want to ban all hunting. They want to ban ownership of firearms. They probably don't even want you to have a dog.
It's wild because I tend to think that in most areas of Canada, you need stuff because you're coming into contact with wild animals.
Oh yeah,
bears
definitely.
And wolves,
freaking
and
mooses everywhere. Yeah. But I thought it was kind of encouraging because even though the government up there is just so incredibly kind of like off the rails in terms of policy making,
they don't have a constitution,
right,
of America.
Yeah, exactly. So even there, these, they got a kind of an anti-hunting law reversed, it would seem. So that's pretty encouraging.
It makes me wonder if under all the headlines you hear about Canada, if there are these grassroots movements happening.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure there are. They just usually get muffled and kind of shut down pretty quickly. The Ontario government invited public response to its planned train and trial amendments this spring, with the window for comment closing in mid-May. The province said all comments received would be considered before a decision is made. According to the animal rights advocacy group, Animal Justice's website, thousands of its supporters and several animal protection groups submitted comments during the consultation period urging Ontario to uphold the ban. At the time of public consultation, the Ontario Ministry of Natural Resources and Forestry told Canada's National Observer the purpose of train and trial facilities is to help professionals train dogs to only track specific wildlife, exercise the dogs in the off-season, and run trialing competitions. The ministry said these facilities must be operated responsibly and meet strict regulatory requirements under the Fish and Wildlife Conservation Act, including care standards for wildlife. One thing they talk about them being captive animals, which I guess they technically are because they're inside of a fenced area, but they're not being kept in cages. They're not at all. Like they're like in a, I don't know. I look at some of these places. I'm not great with land areas, but it's like at like 100 acres, 200 acres.
So they're living wild.
Like 500 acres.
Generally wild.
Yeah, it's like they're living how they normally would. They're just fenced area. People make that. So a lot of times, when people are talking about hunting in Africa, you're hunting on these big preserves. They think of it as canned hunts because they're on a preserve, but the preserve is 20,000 acres.
Right. But don't they have like a version that is canned?
They do. No, they definitely do. Especially, in Africa.
But most people think it's that even when
anytime there's a fence involved, people who are against this kind of stuff automatically assume that it's in like our yard, like our backyard.
You know what's interesting? The fence is probably not just there to keep the lions in, but it's there to protect the people who are outside the fences.
Yeah, and poachers and stuff. To keep the poachers out.
Keep the poachers out.
Yeah.
To stop the wildlife from probably going into other areas. And probably stopping, like I know the safari show I used to watch all the time. One of the issues that they had is that dogs would come onto their reserves.
Like actual dogs,
actual
not wild
dogs.
dogs. Yeah.
And they had to shoot the dogs on site.
Yeah.
Which is heartbreaking, but they couldn't have if a dog was wandering in there, they didn't want it to spread disease.
Yep.
Little factoid.
Pro-hunting groups like the Ontario Federation of Anglers and Hunters say the term penned hunting is misleading and not part of the activities at train and trial areas. It says the dogs do not capture any wildlife within a train and trial area, nor do the dog handlers or hunters carry firearms. I think that's the end of it. Yeah, so...
okay, so it isn't this horror story that can be conjured up?
No, it's not.
Okay.
That's why I want to talk about it. Because like they're saying the penned hunting is a kind of a misleading term. Technically, yes, they're in a fenced area.
But the intention behind it isn't just to viciously hunt down animals that can't get away.
No, it's just to get your dogs started on your whatever target species you're after: fox, coyote, rabbits. I think
and probably a way for people to get to know their dogs and spend time with their dogs. And
they do a lot of trials, especially with foxhounds down in the south and the east and stuff. We don't have this kind of stuff out here in the west. Mm-hmm. Like I don't know of. I've tried looking for them. They don't
really.
Yeah.
Are we talking about like the foxhounds with horses?
Well, same sort of. I mean, it's kind of that's a whole other rabbit trail to go down. Mm-hmm. But in terms of trialing, what they do with foxhounds is they go to these pens, and it's just like a dog race. They just run and run and run and run, and they have criteria they're judging them on, see who's the fastest, see who makes the fewest losses, like that kind of stuff. I don't know anything about that kind of trialing, but I know they do a ton of it, and people love it.
And don't they win huge prizes and stuff?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Anyways, I think there's a lot more like rabbit pens than there are fox and coyote pens, just to get beagles started. And it's like, would a rabbit even know that it's in a pen? I really doubt it, because like they don't have like some massive home range that they're like roaming. It's not like a lion. You couldn't put a mountain lion in a penned area.
You know what's interesting? It would get out. Do you think? I'm thinking about how your mom takes her dogs to bird
pheasant
hunting.
Reserve. Yeah.
Is that considered pen hunting?
Yeah, but that's actually more of a.
Because they're actually. That's going to hunt.
That's even less realistic of a hunt than what we're talking about with these like fox and coyote pens. With the bird preserves, those birds they live in a cage essentially,
and then they plant them.
and then 20 minutes, an hour, however long, the whoever runs the place will go out and plant the birds in different places, and those birds will just kind of stay there, and your dog can go find them. So that's even more, that's more of like what they're talking about, of like a canned hunt. But your dog is still doing the same work, still has to go find a bird.
Yeah.
So it's still kind of the same thing.
And then you also have to be a good shot.
And you still have to be a good shot. Right. Yeah. Anyways, I thought that was a good one. So congratulations, Ontario houndsman. I hope you get to do a lot of fox running. Next up, how wolves are driving down mountain lion populations. So a recent study from Wyoming shows that when the two predators overlap, wolves kill the mountain lion kittens in high numbers and push adults to starvation. So how about that?
That's crazy.
As if us houndsmen didn't need another reason to hate wolves.
Well, it just shows you how, first of all, nature is ruthless.
Very ruthless.
And you're taking like the instincts that a hound has and then amplifying them. So a hound can easily track a mountain lion. Imagine these wolves coming across kittens. It's like
this is an interesting one. So I'm gonna have to probably do a lot of reading on this one. So the lava. Oh, and this study is coming from Smithsonian Magazine, and I can't remember the exact group who did this study, but Smithsonian is the ones who did the main write-up on it. So the Lava Mountain Wolf Pack, the most populous of its kind in the American West, moved into carnivore biologist Mark Elbrock's study site in Wyoming's Teton Range in 2014. Various wolf packs took up residence in the nearly 900 square mile area over the years, and this pack settled atop a massive rocky cliffside. At the base of the cliffs lived a mountain lion named F47 and her 3 kittens. Over the course of 3 months, the wolves killed off F47's kittens, 1 each month. 3 other kittens in the study site also fell prey to the pack. So these wolves are just murdering all the mountain lion kittens.
Yeah, that's
all of them.
So sad.
Elbrock, the director of Panthera's Puma program, didn't see wolves attack the young cats with his own eyes, but he saw the aftermath. Bloodied bits of dismembered kittens strewn across the ground. It was hard for us to watch, he says.
Yeah.
In the mid-1900s, scientists started trying to understand how North America's carnivores, like wolves and mountain lions, interact. Previous studies suggested that in places where mountain lions and wolves compete, wolves usually come out on top by stealing the lion's kills or changing where the cats hunt. But wildlife biologists weren't sure just how detrimental wolves could be to mountain lion populations. A new study published in November in the journal Proceedings of the Royal Society B. Weird sounding society.
I want a society that sounds like that. Can we start one?
Proceedings of the Royal Society Tay. Provided the first evidence that when the two species overlapped, wolves have a greater effect on mountain lion populations than hunting by humans and the availability of prey.
Right, because they eat the prey and they kill them.
Yes.
You know what this makes me think of? That unintended consequences where like, we need more wolves. And then you're like, oh, the wolves are killing all the mountain lions.
Yeah.
And you're trying to manage an ecosystem.
Yep.
And man, you can't see all outcomes, can you?
And the way scientists say the wolves impact populations? By starving out adults and killing the kittens.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a pretty big deal because they just, for a long time they've just been blaming the decline. And this is funny because when I was looking for articles to talk about, I also found a lot of stuff saying that I found some stuff where they were talking about wanting to hunt mountain lions even harder to bring their populations down. I think maybe even in Wyoming. Montana was one of the states because they're having problems with their elk herds or something. And so they always think it's the mountain lions doing the damage. And so they want to hunt the mountain lions harder. But this is shedding new light on all that because it's like, wait, it's not just wait, I got it backwards. I don't know. It's confusing because it's like, okay, on one hand, they want to decrease mountain lion populations by hunting them more. And then they also want to discourage hunting at the same time. I don't know. It's kind of weird. So back to the article. In an earlier study, Elbrock and his team reported that over the course of 15 years, the mountain lion population in the greater Yellowstone ecosystem in Wyoming dropped by 48%. That's pretty crazy. They considered 3 main theories for the decline: human hunting of cats, a lack of prey, or the presence of wolves. To figure out what exactly cut the mountain lion population nearly in half, Elbrock and his team analyzed data gathered on 147 mountain lions living in the study site. During those years, they tracked down cats and kittens and equipped them with telemetry or GPS collars that reported the predator's locations. And just a side note, it was most likely hound hunters that were used to accomplish all that. Not only did the collars provide Elbrock with an understanding of how the cats moved through the landscape, but they also helped the team locate mountain lions after they died, which also allowed the researchers to determine how a cat met its demise. They then plugged that data along with data on elk and wolves into a population model to reveal patterns in the relationships between the species. The model was able to determine the strongest drivers of the declining mountain population during the study period, as well as forecast how the cats would fare in the future. Elbrock found the growing population of wolves was the culprit behind the massive decline. Elbrock suspects that the drastic drop was largely due to wolves affecting the cats' access to prey, namely elk.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but when you were talking earlier about how they thought the mountain lions were eating the elk, in my mind I was like, how do they know it was mountain lions and not wolves? But it seems like the wolves aren't eating the elk.
Well, they talk about this. This is really interesting. In a wolf-less study site, elk herds resided in the comfort of the mountains. When the wolves moved in, the herds started congregating in large groups in the open grasslands to protect themselves from a pack attack. Since mountain lions stealthily stalk and ambush their prey under the cover of brush, they couldn't reach the elk in the grasslands, and starvation became a more common cause of death among the cats.
Oh my gosh.
It's not that the wolves are eating the elk more than their fair share.
They're moving
the elk out of the mountains into the grasslands,
where the cats can't access them.
which is harder for them to access. Yeah. Because that's why elk hang out in fields, because they can
see everything.
They're all posted up. All the cows are posted up. They can see everything. You can't sneak up on a herd.
That is so crazy.
But
what I think is really nice is that this is true science, meaning we're going to suspend our judgment until we get the data, rather than saying, oh yeah, the cats are dying. We're just going to assume that it's humans.
Yeah, exactly. I know it's pretty interesting. The kittens didn't fare well either. The model showed that over the 16 years, roughly a third of kittens at the site survived until they were 6 months old, and only around a quarter ever made it to their first birthday. This is the lowest survival ever reported for kittens anywhere. Elbrock says, for the youngsters, the predominant cause of death was from brutal wolf attacks that could wipe out entire generations of kittens, like the Lava Mountain Pack did in 2014. A recent study's findings revealed that the wolves' impact on mountain lion abundance is so strong that the yearly average mortality associated with human hunting is comparable to the effects of just 20 wolves. That finding is remarkable given that more than 90 wolves were once recorded living in the study site area, which would have placed an enormous amount of pressure on the cats. Yeah, so pretty crazy.
What do you think's going to happen? Do you think they're going to allow hunting of wolves? Or do they already allow hunting of wolves?
Let me look it up. I think you can. Well, it just depends on the state and the area of the state sometimes. Because you can hunt. They hunt wolves in Montana, I think. I know they hunt them in Idaho. Like I think they have bounties on wolves in Idaho. Like they're trying to put
Whoa.
extreme pressure on these things because wolves are probably the hardest animal to hunt. Like harder than any elk,
Is it
sheep,
just because they're
goat.
always moving or?
They're hard to find. They have these huge territories. So like they're hard to pattern.
Right.
People will go out and they'll go try to call them, like howl and try to locate them that way, kind of like you would do with elk hunting. Um, but they're just incredibly hard to hunt apparently. Can you hunt
And I
wolves
mean,
in Wyoming?
I know in Africa the African wild dog is the most successful predator in
Yeah.
terms of hunting success, more than a lion.
Okay, can you hunt wolves in Wyoming? I got the answer. Yes.
Thank you.
In Wyoming, wolf hunting is now legit. 360 days a year across 85% of the state, where wolves are classified as shoot on sight vermin. Huh.
Whoa, this has to be new, right?
This is from the Sierra Club.
This is so funny after reading what we just read and then seeing the subtitle on this. Scorched Earth. You know what's so sad is that there's people's lives who are being severely affected by wolves, and it gets placed into this framing that they're just angry people with no reason
Right.
doing mindless, senseless acts of violence against wildlife.
So I guess you can hunt wolves in Wyoming. But the problem is this study was done in the Greater Yellowstone area.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can hunt, if they do any hunting in there.
Because of the tourists?
Because of the park.
Mm.
Well, you have Yellowstone Park. That's just part of it. And then you have the Greater Yellowstone area, which is like this big, huge area.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. Once you get into like hunting regulations, it gets so complicated. What else? I feel like we covered the main points of this, but I don't know. I thought it was super interesting to hear that it's not just that the wolves are eating the mountain lion's food. They're making it inaccessible for them.
Yeah, they're changing prey
That's
animal
how
behavior.
they're literally starving them out. That's so crazy. Is that all of this? Oh yeah, here we go. So this is the conclusion. Elbrock was shocked at how wolf-related deaths completely eclipsed those from hunters. The narrative for mountain lions for the last 50-60 years has been that human hunting is the primary driver of population dynamics for mountain lions. And that is absolutely true, except where they overlap with wolves. Okay, I guess that is an important distinction. So it's only where they overlap with wolves that this is happening. Where they don't overlap with wolves, humans are still their main predator.
Right, because they wouldn't have another predator.
Other mountain lions, I'm sure bears and mountain lions will get in scraps.
But they're solitary. They're both solitary, whereas wolves are a pack. So they have different hunting strategies.
Yep. Now we're going to have to rewrite the whole narrative that rolls up the bigger impact on population dynamics for mountain lions, which has huge ramifications for their management. Sorry, my nose is itchy. Wolves are now in Washington, Oregon, California, Idaho, Wyoming, Montana, and moving outward still, says Elbrock. And these are all states that have aggressive mountain lion management. It will be fascinating to see how they decide to alter their management of mountain lions as wolves move into the system. I don't know. This last statement made me kind of question everything this guy says now, because, okay, Oregon and Washington is not aggressively managing mountain lions by any stretch of the imagination.
And by that he means like what? What is considered mountain lion management? Hunting regulations?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if we were, okay, I don't think you can say you're aggressively managing mountain lions without letting people hunt them with hounds.
Right.
Because you're just relying on basically opportunistic hunting of them. So if you're out elk hunting and there's a mountain lion, you shoot it. That's the main way people hunt mountain lions. There's maybe a tiny percentage of hunters are actually going out and targeting lions.
I think a bigger question is, what is going to be the wolf management strategy?
Yeah, that's good. That's really, they need to thin out the wolves and stop reintroducing them everywhere. They're reintroducing them to Colorado, and it's like they made that decision before they even confirmed that there was wolves there. And it turns out there were wolves in Colorado. So they have them naturally there, and now they're going to dump a bunch more in. Just come on, we don't need it. We don't need all that.
I think there's just so much emotional decision making in the wildlife management.
Definitely.
And also, I think utopian thinking, it's like we need to go back to the days of buffaloes and...
I know. Well, yeah, they always think, their argument is that, nature will just sustain itself. Not at this point, because we've if you don't have all these houses everywhere and interstates separating and all these, it's like we took this big massive wilderness and then chopped it all up in these separate little sections. And so, you don't get all the same benefits of wilderness when it's all chopped up like that. So it doesn't really, humans got to be good stewards of the land.
Yeah, exactly.
Moving on. This is a sad one.
Oh, no.
This is just dog pet related, not necessarily hunting related. So a cop hunting aggressive dog shoots family's Labrador instead as owner demands answers from the police. A heartbroken North Carolina family is demanding answers after police shot and killed their family Labrador in what appears to be a catastrophic case of canine confusion. Let me see, where's this story coming from? Realize I need to be better about giving credit to these places. This is coming from the New York Post. A woman in the city of High Point called cops saying she had been trapped in her house with her children due to an aggressive German Shepherd that refused to leave her yard Sunday morning. A responding officer tried to catch the aggressive dog, but it ran away. A neighbor said they knew where the dog's owners lived further down the street and directed the officer to another house on the same block. However, when the officer walked down the home's driveway in search of the German Shepherd, a, quote, black dog, not the German Shepherd, came out from behind the home, barking aggressively and charged at the officer. The officer, who has not been ID'd by the department, got a little audio interference from the dogs. The officer, who has not been ID'd by the department, backed up and shot the dog 4 times when it was around 5 to 7 feet away. The family pet, a 65-pound black Labrador retriever named Hank, died at the scene. Poor Hank. See, my dogs are even upset about this one.
That's
so sad.
The whole situation is sad.
I know. And it's like, I think the cop probably made an honest mistake.
In his mind, he's going to look for something.
Dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to look for an aggressive dog. Anyways, pretty sad for Mr. Hank. But I feel like it was probably an honest mistake by the officer. Because you're going to look for an aggressive dog, and all of a sudden one runs up behind you and starts barking like crazy. It's like
came out from behind the home, barking.
He was at the wrong house though. Distraught homeowner Adam Barnes told WX1112, the police shot my black lab for no reason. First off, I don't have a German Shepherd. He shot the wrong dog. That dog was happy 1 second and dead the next, Lee lamented. saying that Hank was just doing what any dog would have done when someone came near. The High Point Police Department is conducting an internal investigation into the shooting, it confirmed in a statement.
The question is, did the neighbor give the wrong house?
What if it's the neighbor's fault? Who knows?
Or the neighbor's like, oh yeah, that dog that barks at me every time I walk past.
And what happened to the aggressive German Shepherd? We never learned about that. A lot of these little news stories, it's hard to find. They get reported on very sparsely.
Yeah.
So it's hard to figure out what actually happened. Anyways, moving on. Black bears are digging under California homes. The reason why might surprise you. And where is this coming from?
That's a big bear.
This is coming from fieldandstream.com. Black bears near Lake Tahoe, California, have been digging at the foundations of people's homes. And according to a local bear conservation group, the fault may lie with the homeowners. Of course. Bears love rodent poison, explained Bear League on Facebook. To a bear, this poison smells like candy, just as it does to mice. Just in the past 3 days, the Bear League has answered 9 calls from Tahoe residents who have bears intently digging and ripping to get under their homes. After asking a few questions, it was discovered that every single one of them had mouse bait under their house. The organization says that professional pest control services often place rodent control bait stations under people's houses. But in bear country, this practice can have unintended consequences in the form of thousands of dollars in damages from bears clawing foundations and easily tearing up crawl space doors. The poison is bad for bears, too. Adult bears usually don't die from ingesting it, but cubs sometimes do, wrote Bear League. Ignore this warning at your peril. It's best not to invite bears to your home. The Lake Tahoe area is notorious for its bear activity. The Tahoe Basin is considered the bear capital of California and supports a dense population of around 300 black bears. Black bear hunting is legal in California, though hunting bears over hounds was banned in 2013. Anyways, can you imagine how crazy that would be to like hear something scratching around outside and then you go and look and this bear has dug a cave under your house?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Anyways.
This whole story reminds me of that
California.
movie with John Candy. It's an old time movie. And it's 2 families that go to a cabin. I think it's called Cabin in the Woods or something. They have a run-in with a bear.
Oh, yeah?
You know what I'm talking about?
No. Tell me about what happens.
They're just, if I'm remembering correctly, John Candy has, okay, I'm remembering it. Basically, there's this bear that is a menace, and John Candy and this bear end up, having a confrontation.
I guess I don't even know who John Candy is.
Can we look up the trailer?
Sure. What's it called?
Type in John Candy bear cabin movie. And I'm going to laugh if I have his name wrong.
The Great Outdoors?
The Great Outdoors.
Okay.
1988. Come on. Who remembers this movie?
Oh, I know where you're... Okay, duh. Yeah, I know who John Candy is. This makes for great podcast content, by the way. So we're watching a trailer of The Great Outdoors because apparently, as Taylor has informed me, it has a great scene with a bear.
There it is.
And there's the bear. Oh, and he's running from the bear.
He's getting chased by the bear.
Okay, we need to watch this movie again. I have seen
What
this
a weird time in
long time
history.
ago. Yeah. We definitely have to watch this.
Let's
Is this
do
on
it.
Netflix?
We can find it, babe.
Okay, we'll find it. They don't make movies like this anymore.
They don't. It's kind of like Family
a damn
Vacation, you
shame.
know?
Yeah. Hell yeah. Sweet. This is it's too long. We're gonna skip out. but good call. It does have a bear attack scene in it. Okay, so that is all of our news stories for today. And now we are going to watch some videos that I found on the internet for our What the Hound segment. Yes. Okay, so this first one is pretty interesting. I thought this was like a one-time video that I'm about to show you, but this dude actually has a full Instagram channel where this is all he posts. He just posts videos like this. So get ready.
Let's see it.
Cross collar choke from a mount. So I've got my opponent fully mounted here. Sorry, Riggs, didn't mean to scare you, buddy. And most important part of this is your first grip, okay? I want to use this hand to open his lapel so that I can slide as deeply as possible into his collar. If you start this choke here, your chances of finishing it are very low.
Should you describe what's
If you
happening?
start this choke by going all the way into the collar, your chances of finishing it are much, much greater. Once I get
What
that
type of
all the way in
martial
there,
arts
I'm
is this?
gonna
Karate?
drop
Jiu-jitsu.
my chest
jiu-jitsu.
Because I don't want to be sweepable. If Wrigley
I didn't
starts
think
to
you
sweep
wore
me
that
here,
for
see, I don't have a
jiu-jitsu.
post on that side.
Maybe
'cause it's tied
competition.
up here,
Hold
right?
on.
So
Let's
I've got to be
let this
ready
video
to use
play
either
out
my
so we can hear what
head
Oh,
he's
it's still
or my
going.
left arm
I thought it was repeating.
to stop the sweep. So if he were to sweep me, I want to be able to come across like this and catch myself. If I can't get that across there, I want to use my head on the mat to keep from getting swept, okay? So what I want to do, now that I've dropped my chest low, I want to walk this arm around. I want to give Wrigley a shave right here.
Just
I
following
want to
his
bring this
hand.
in close to his face, pull the elbows in and just melt it.
And then choke the dog out.
And you get the choke on everybody.
Oh my
Good
goodness.
job, Riggs. Good job, buddy. Cross collar choke.
Okay, I'm going to
From a
mute it,
mount.
but let it keep playing. Okay, so what we're watching is a jiu-jitsu instructor teaching you how to do what do you call it? A closed collar choke. And he's using his dog to demonstrate how to do this maneuver. So he's like, his dog is on his back, just totally cooperating.
Also, he is in a jiu-jitsu
Oh yeah,
uniform.
the dog is in a jiu-jitsu gi. They call that a gi, which is like a karate outfit kind of thing. It's like the white robe that jiu-jitsu people wear. Apparently, because I'm getting interested in jiu-jitsu and I want to start doing jiu-jitsu so I can choke a bitch out.
I want to learn some jiu-jitsu moves.
Yeah. No, I straight up want to be able to choke someone out.
Well, it's nice to know how to neutralize something.
I want to be able to neutralize somebody.
That sounds bad,
I
but
want to neutralize a bitch.
without causing harm.
Exactly. Yep. So this guy, his whole channel this is all it is him teaching you jujitsu moves using his dog. And it looks like some kind of, I don't know, some
Looks like a
kind of,
boxer.
some kind of boxer, pit bull, big blocky head.
Oh,
But this sweet dog is just totally cooperating.
like its arms are like
Just super
just hanging
relaxed. Yeah.
out.
And he's got a gi on. Anyways, I thought that was pretty good. He's got a ton of videos, but that was a great instructional video.
100%.
Like, I feel like I could do that to somebody now.
Yeah.
Like, I get how it works. And it's just hilarious to see it demonstrated on a dog.
I wonder how he came to the realization that he could do this. You know, like he was practicing or something.
Yep. I don't think my dogs would let me do that.
Definitely not.
No, they would squirm and they would run away. All right. Next up.
Good video.
That was a good one. Get us started right. Okay, so this next one, I'm obsessed with those trail cam videos on Instagram. And this one guy, he just has the best one. Charles Fritsch or whatever his name is. So here we go. It happens kind of fast, so pay attention.
What? I know what the animal on the right is, but what is the animal on the left? A possum?
It's a possum. All right, so this is a trail cam video, and it's at night. It's raining, and on stage left we have a possum just minding his own business. And then out of stage right, or I guess maybe stage, I don't know, coordinates. From the right side of the screen, we have a raccoon come running in and
Body check him.
Yeah, like body checks this possum. I don't know what the deal is.
Just
He's got
letting
some
him
beef.
know.
You'd think, oh man, you know what? A raccoon could mess a possum up. Like, no doubt about it. It could have killed that thing easy. So I don't know
could have
what
been an
it's
epic
doing.
brawl.
He's like, hey, this is my bird feeder. Is that because I think that might be a bird feeder or something?
Oh, it might be something like that. It might just be letting it know.
Or maybe
that
they're
it's
friends.
prepared to fight him.
Yeah. And the possum's just like, what did I even do?
The possum's like, I'm cold. It's raining. Like, give me a break.
I'm just minding my own business. So,
I don't even live
there's
here.
not- I mean, that's the whole video, but I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
All right, this next one's a little more brutal, so get ready.
Oh, brutal. Oh no! What? No. 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 I'm not gonna listen to that.
You're only gonna take one earphone off?
Yeah, because now I can barely hear it.
Okay. So for the listeners, it's a video of a black bear attacking and trying to kill a baby moose. But then here comes Mama Moose, and baby moose gets away. It's a happy ending.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I should have told you that to start.
Yeah, I thought you were just showing me a baby moose getting killed.
No, that's not that interesting. This one actually gets away, and I cannot. That bear was
left.
really
That bear-
laying into him, so I can't believe how tough a baby moose is.
Yeah.
Mom saved its baby.
Also,
I
look how
remember all
small
of
the
it.
bear looks compared
Yeah.
to those moose.
Moose? Oh my.
Look at this thing. It must not be a very big bear.
Oh, it looks like a small bear. Oh, okay. I can only watch it now because
'Cause you know it gets
I know
away.
what happens.
But Mama Moose comes in mad.
Oh gosh, that
She's
bear's trying
real
to
mad.
drag it off.
Yeah,
Oh crap.
bears are ruthless.
Dang.
Bears
Here
are
she
in-
comes. Here she comes. Here comes Mama.
Like bears, they don't care if the animal's dead or not.
So
they would
the
just start
bear
eating it.
ran away. It let go of the baby when it saw the mom was coming.
I think it got scared
When it saw
because he
the
was
mom.
like, "Oh, I'm gonna get
Bear
stomped,"
left.
and let it go. But then he starts running after it to try to get it again.
Yeah, that bear was
Mom saved its
fast.
baby.
Yeah,
I
That
remember
is
all of it.
intimidating.
bears are extremely fast.
That is so scary.
I think they can go like 30 some miles an hour.
Oh,
Like
dang.
they're fast. All right, that
It does
one's-
look like a small bear.
Yeah. Oh well, happy ending. Baby moose got away. All right, next up,
That moose is gonna.
just a bobcat walking down a sidewalk, hopping up onto a retaining wall.
Hanging out. Oh no! Oh crap!
Catches a squirrel. Like it probably in like some California
Okay.
neighborhood.
That
He caught the squirrel.
the bobcats are parkour kings.
Yeah. Oh my god.
The moves that they do are just
Well,
crazy.
Remember the Lynx video where there was two lynx
Yes.
and they like went and did ninja moves
First
up
of
and down
all,
the
they
trees?
teleported.
They teleported. Yeah.
I don't even know how. They just appeared.
Look at that bobcat.
They defy gravity.
And I was like, well, now I got to find somewhere to eat.
You're like,
this
well,
thing.
that was easier than I thought it was.
Yeah. So that was a good one.
I like how he's just trotting around. He's like not even in a rush.
Yeah.
He's like, I got this in the bag.
All right. So our next one and our final one is pretty funny. Check it out.
Sorry, Mom.
Okay, so it's like two golden retrievers or some yellow dogs. And this lady, they're in the snow, and this lady is just standing there with perfectly straight like legs, locked knees, and she sees these two dogs running straight at her, and they just take her legs out and she falls straight on
Yeah.
her face.
They give her a swipe.
So the moral of this story is bend your knees.
Yeah, well,
Bend your
like
knees.
bend down to greet them, right?
Yeah. She's just standing there, like. I like how the camera, whoever's on filming it, just laughs, and the freaking dog goes and steals her hat. No respect.
Oh my goodness.
I got stupid little harnesses on.
Those look like happy dogs, though.
Yep. Anyways, that is pretty much, that's all the videos we got. So we're right at an hour, so that's perfect. So, yeah. What do you think?
I have no thoughts.
I feel like we learned quite a bit today.
It just brings up a lot of different questions.
Sure does.
All the different angles and ways of looking at wildlife management and hunting.
And if you have questions that you would like to bring up or bring to our attention, or any fact checks you might have, or any little tidbits of wisdom that you want to share with us, go ahead and give us a call and leave us a message at 971-301-4884. That'll be, I actually don't have it written out anywhere because I don't want, you have to copy it down from the audio or from the video. I'll put it on the screen in the video, but I'm not going to put it in the video description because I don't want web crawlers like getting the phone number, and I just don't want
spam.
a million like spam messages from robots. So yeah, 971-301-4884. That's the Hound on the Run hotline. So yeah, hop to it. That's all we have for this week. Thank you all so much for listening. Thanks for watching on YouTube and on Rumble. If you enjoyed this video, please like it on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You can hit the notification bell, which will let you know when new episodes are published. And
you've got some pretty cool podcasts coming down the pipeline.
Yes, we do. We got some more guests coming up. More episodes with Taylor, and maybe some more audiobook related stuff. And I got a lot of different videos, other than the podcast planned for my channel. Some dog box stuff, some hound training, some recall training. Yeah. There's just so many good things to talk about and discover. Mm-hmm. So, yep. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Oh yeah, I mentioned this. I mentioned this in the introduction, but every Monday, I have been invited to be on a live stream with Brett Vaughn, among others. Brett Vaughn is with Born 100 Years Too Late. That's his YouTube channel. The live streams are actually on his other channel, which is called Interviews, Stories, and Tales. I think that's what it's called. I'll link it in the description. But yeah, every Monday night around 4 or 5 in the evening, I get the
Pacific Standard
We're all
time.
in different time zones, so I get confused on what the actual time is. But yeah, we've been doing like hour, 2 hour, 3 hour long live streams on YouTube. So that's been really, really fun. So if you're into that kind of thing, check it out. And I hope to see you on there. Anything else that our dear listeners need to know about or that I'm forgetting?
I don't think so. I think you covered it all.
All right. Sounds good. We'll see you later.